Man, I'm seeing a lightning. I'm seeing the lightning. There's two angels. These two angels is showing me lightning, and the lightning struck a house like it's not going to be like once. This lightnings are coming. This lightning. I'm using the word lightning to a particular place. What I'm saying is going to be on the news like lightning struck. Lightning. This lightning. As I'm saying it, like the Lord is showing me, and in the realm of the spirit, I'm seeing this lightning. Goes like this, lightning. I'm praying, my Father, protect your children, protect your children in the name of Jesus Christ. Father, I'm praying in the name of...
Scenes of devastation unfolding right now in Turkey and Syria after what's being called one of the most powerful earthquakes to hit the region in a century. More than 1,600 people were killed and thousands were injured when the massive quake struck Turkey's Gaziantep province early on Monday morning. And with an unknown number of people still buried beneath the rubble, that number could rise dramatically.
We do not know how far the number of dead and injured will rise, as debris removal works continue in many buildings in the quake zone. Our hope is that we will recover from this disaster with the least loss of life.
Rescue workers frantically searching for survivors in bitterly cold temperatures, but even as they do, major aftershocks are rocking the area. CNN's Scott McLean is following developments, joins us here in London with the latest on that. And these aftershocks are massive, aren't they?
Yeah, the number of challenges here for rescue workers, Max, just continues to multiply, really. These aftershocks, under any other circumstance, had there not have been a 7.8 overnight, you would call them massive earthquakes on their own. So you had the 7.8, which happened after 4 o'clock in the morning, and then just about 2.5 hours ago or so, you had another major aftershock that was at 7.5. And just to put that into context, that is the strongest earthquake, stronger even than the last really substantial earthquake in Turkey, which was 1999. That was a 7.4, and that one killed 17,000 people, left 500,000 people homeless. So it just gives you a sense of what we're up against as these rescue workers are battling not only the constant tremors and smaller earthquakes, but also the risk of major aftershocks like this one, plus the cold weather, plus the snow. I just want to show you a piece of video that we've gotten in not long ago from Malatya. This was from the most recent aftershock there. This is a reporter with a Turkish channel called A News, live on air when it seems like obviously clearly they realize that there's more shaking, they hear the sounds and then start running. So I'll play the piece of video and then I'll translate what the reporter says. Watch.
Güvenli alana geçiyoruz bizler şu an. Vatandaşları da görüyorsunuz. Deprem oluyor gene. Evet, şu an gazda araba kurtarma çalışmalarına doğru giderken.
The sounds there, Max, are absolutely terrifying there. So the reporter here is saying as we were heading to the rubble to film search and rescue efforts, there were 2 consecutive aftershocks with a loud noise, and the building you are seeing on my left was brought down to earth. There's lots of dust. This local resident here, he is covered in dust. Some really terrifying scenes. And we also have updates on the number of killed and injured. More than 1,000 now in Turkey alone who have been killed, according to the authorities. More than 2,800 buildings have been demolished, have collapsed. So you imagine what happened there. You imagine at each one of these sites that we're seeing the pictures of, multiply that by 2,800, and you can imagine what potentially the death toll is going to be here, especially since this earthquake, the initial one, took place overnight. There are more than 7,000 injured, but President Erdogan made clear earlier today that they simply don't know how many people may still be trapped underneath of the rubble. Obviously, there is aid coming in from around the world, rescue workers from around the world, around the country to try to get there, but these things take time, and with these really bitterly cold temperatures, nothing can happen quickly enough, given that, of course, it would be extremely difficult for someone to survive underneath the rubble, very likely badly injured in these kind of temperatures, which are right around freezing for significant periods of time, Max.
Is the aftershock. The original quake 7.8, this aftershock, huge, 7.5 magnitude.
An earthquake in itself
Yeah.
would have been the strongest earthquake since 1999 in the region. Now, we always talk about the epicenter, but we really, in this case, we should talk about the epiline. Here's the original 7.8, here's the new 7.5. About 100 miles from one side to the other, this Earth slipped. And this Earth slipped in what we call a strike slip, where the plates are touching and all of a sudden they slide sideways. So the primary movement is the building moving sideways and then moving back. Unlike when we have the Ring of Fire, where we have the subduction plates, and sometimes plates will go up and plates will go down, causing the tsunamis. This is more of a sliding back and forth. Why that matters is because the buildings don't want to go back and forth. And then the secondary waves can begin to go up and down as well. There is the strike where the heaviest damage will be right now from the initial quake. The new quake is far enough away from the first quake, about 60 miles, that we will see more damage in other areas as well. Two plates collide here. This is one of the areas that we expect this type of scenario. It hasn't happened in a long time, especially not a 7.8. And we talked about the weather. The reporter just did about how this very, very cold. Temperatures around 40. We will see snow in the forecast, especially where the new earthquake was. It's a much higher elevation, almost 2,000 feet higher in elevation than where the original quake was. This will be a very difficult, long, and tragic recovery, Javi.
You're right, Chad, that aftershock, a big earthquake in and of itself. Thank you for that.
Yeah.